In today's episode, let's have a look at rotation. Rotation is the effect you see in the wheels of a car. In previous episodes, we have moved things around the screen, left and right, up and down, but never we rotated anything. So let's draw a rectangle in our screen. Let's make it from 10, 10 to width. This is the width of the rectangle, so I will make width minus 20, height minus 20. And let's run this program. You can see here the rectangle. The nice thing about using width and height is now I can change the size of the screen. And because the width is relative, I'm using the width variable. So I'm saying 20 pixels less than the width and 20 pixels less than the height. Then automatically it's adjusting to the size of the screen. So until now everything is normal. What happens now if before I draw, I say rotate. Rotate with open and close parentheses and then a semicolon. And inside we need a number. We can check this on the documentation here. Rotate. You can see here it says rotate angle, and you have to specify the angle in radians. We will study that deeper in future episodes, but let's just try with some number. For example, 0.5, and I run the program. And look at that, isn't that strange? Because we are saying here, draw something from pixel 10, 10 and make it this wide and this tall. So it should be up here like before, but now when we use rotate, what it does, it changes our coordinates. These numbers no longer mean what they meant before. Let's try drawing something else. Instead of a rectangle, or let's make this rectangle just 20 pixels tall. See, it's rotated. And if I change this number, 0.2 for example, you can see it's rotated. So I'm thinking maybe we can rotate many times and draw many different objects and make some interesting pattern with that. For that we will use a while loop. We will do something while a condition is true. We need a variable for this. I will use a float like C, like counter, and we begin with 0. And we say do this while C is less than 100. So I will draw 100 times something. And of course I must remember to increase this variable, otherwise I stay inside the while loop forever. Let's rotate a little bit less and just put these things inside here. Oops, where's my... So now it's very similar to before, but now I'm doing something 100 times. I'm rotating 100 times and drawing a rectangle 100 times. And rotation is cumulative. What it means is that every time I'm executing this line, rotate 0,05, I'm adding a little bit rotation to the previous rotation. So you can see here the effect of our program. It's not very beautiful at the moment. You can see here these like stairs, these jagged edges. And you can fix that by using the smooth function. I'm not sure if we used that before. It's just smooth, parentheses, semicolon, without any parameters. And see now the difference, the lines are more beautiful than before. So I'm gonna change the background color to remove this default gray. I paste the color inside here. I'm gonna remove the stroke. Let's try how it runs. Now, because there's no borders, you cannot see anything. Let's make the rectangles a little bit different in color. So I will do this with fill. If I just enter a random value between 0 and 255, then there will be different shades of gray. That starts to be nice now. What happens if I draw this rectangle not from 10 pixels from the left border, but like 200? Okay, and then I should reduce the width also, so it doesn't go out of the screen. So I will just use here a 50 pixels wide. And you have this kind of stairs going down and left. You can see the center of rotation is in the top left corner. We will see in future episodes how we can rotate objects around their own center, like in the case of the wheel of a car or a CD spinning. And if I make this less tall, just like 5 pixels, you have all these separated lines now. What happens if I switch this while for an if? C is 0, which is less than 100. So it will execute this only one time. So we have there our rectangle, a little bit rotated, because the first thing it does is rotate, then changes the color, then draws the rectangle, and then increases the counter to know if we have done or not 100 times. If I move the rotate later, after drawing, then our only rectangle is now horizontal, because first we draw, then we rotate. If I now switch back this to a while function, then again the first one is horizontal because it has no rotation, and then starts rotating a little bit each time. You can make some interesting patterns with this. Let's add another fill and another rectangle. If this one goes from 200 and 250, because 50 plus 200 is 250, let's add this to, move this to 280 and make it just 10 pixels wide. And let's make this one red. It's the same vertical position and the same height. So now you have these red dots in the same, like aligned with the line, but they are very separated. I want to make that a bit closer, maybe 260. So the space is smaller. Okay, so now you have an idea of how to rotate things around the 0, 0 coordinate. Just do some experiments generating just some lines, rectangles, circles, points, anything you want. All these drawing functions we have used now. You can try to change how much it rotates each time. Like what happens when you do less rotation or more rotation on each increment. You can change how many items you do. You can do less than 100 or more than 100. Just do some experiments and see if you can come up with some interesting patterns.